For those of you who took advantage from a couple episodes ago where we offered John to come and put together a jersey rack for you, we want to let you know that the hangers are back in stock.
Everyone's favorite props.
Yes. So, as professionals do, we'll be hanging our multifaceted hanger tool on the tripods to display, as professionals do.
It's
the
part of every Christmas. Hanging in the racks.
Stocking stuffers. Oh boy.
Next on Ugly Thirds.
Boy.
Get them out.
Welcome back to another episode of Ugly Thirds. Today's topic is the Winter Classics best looking matchups. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Father Phil. Padre. So we looked at individual jerseys, best and worst. Now we're talking about as a combination. The two have to play well together. They have to look good as a matchup. This has to mesh.
Both teams have to do their assignments well, is what you're saying.
And in a way where they don't clash.
Okay.
So, best of a group project, more or less. And we're going to start with number 3, which I think may be even a bit controversial. But I loved it, and I saw it live, and I loved it live.
This takes the cake right here. Like, this is elevating this matchup, in my opinion. This was so well done.
Oh, honestly, I like the other one better.
Get out of town. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
So, this is not a they made a lot of significant changes. Where this white stripe should have been much smaller. It should have been the bear in brown. As much as I love the chenille in this. And I don't know. There's something about this, especially in here, that I just feel is awkward. It's an awkward transition when the original didn't have it because the stripe went to there.
Okay.
It's little details, it's pedantic. This is a near perfect throwback. Like, it is two back in the early days of the Blackhawks in the late 20s. There should be another couple stripes in here, but I don't feel that this jersey is hurt by the lack of them. Whereas the jersey kind of overdoes it a little.
Okay.
And that is based on this jersey that the Newark team was wearing.
So what are we throwing back to here?
So now, Phil, you want NHL uniforms this? Because I want to say it's
Get
the
off
28
that Ponderosa
Blackhawks.
website. We're not going.
I want to say it's the 28 Blackhawks. Check me. So this goes to Boston's earliest days. There would have been their third jersey in their history because there were some wonky ones. There was a plain brown one.
27.
What?
27 to 34.
I was right. Haha.
And then,
and so Boston is based on the 28 jersey as well. Because 26 they wore brown, 27 they wore with there was white spaces in the stripes. It looks awful. It looks like it was a mistake. And then this B goes to the 1950s when they started wearing there were a lot of B jerseys. So they kind of mishmashed. I think this logo is an updated logo. It's the updated Blackhawk and not the much worse looking original version.
I imagine that most people forgot about this.
Well, I mean, it's from well before. I think this gets a lot of props because of the brown and just how
Always
few
with
teams
the
wear
brown.
brown.
100%.
But I feel like this fits the Blackhawks very well. I think it fits their motif without being similar to any of the other things they've done because we've seen them phone it in multiple times.
Yep.
And there's a white version of this. They wore a white version of this the year prior. Not in the modern age, in the 20s.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
The first version was a white version of this.
Okay.
Why not use it? And that's why, again, what they did in 2025 is amazing. But, that 15 and 17, when they phoned it in, where was the white one of this?
Yeah.
So, I think this was and Phil, there is a slide to show everyone how good this looked together. Are you able to get that?
He got it.
He got it. He's Phil. He knows what he's doing. I mean,
That's
look at
excellent.
poetry in
you need
motion.
another patch for that.
There
You
is
need
a
a
patch
patch.
on there.
The 21. You need a patch on yours.
Yeah, well, it's It's a Fanatics 2X, and it's too big, so I haven't bothered.
I see.
Yeah.
Good picture, though.
That's good. I mean, like, I tried to find some
Okay.
good ones.
Okay.
This next one is my number one. I deferred.
Oh.
So
So you took the number one from the last one, and I'm getting the number one from this one.
essentially, yeah.
Okay.
We're kind of trading.
So you mentioned this last episode. This was the dark on dark.
What year
Michigan one
was this?
2014.
14. I think it was actually supposed to be the year prior, 2012. There was something where it was canceled.
Oh,
and rescheduled.
lockout.
It was a
2012 was
lockout.
the lockout.
So the only game that was color v color, red versus blue. There's no one's questioning the contrast here.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Both of these teams. So Toronto is a straight up throwback to the 1935. Making Phil work this episode. He doesn't like it. And then Detroit, complete faux back. They made this up from whole cloth.
But it works.
It works really well.
Does it
The
work?
logo is based on one from the 30s. The Detroit was made entirely. The font is actually from the 80s, like the early 80s that no one likes to talk about, the Detroit Dead Things era. And then like the Easter, like completely, they've never worn anything like it.
And
And
for fun.
which actually violates an NHL rule. The A is on the sleeve.
I love it.
I love it.
Did EPS do
Yes.
this for you? Or...
Yes, and I actually bought them a patch, and they're like, "That's not the right patch." So they did it. They did it on their own.
Gotcha.
Phil,
It's kind of look. They're all very similar. The 27 through 30 had that.
the shoulders. So there's one. They did drop the shoulder. The shoulders.
27 through 30 had no shoulders. The 30 through 34 had shoulders.
Okay, so it's a year off. Not bad.
And then they
It's
cleaned it
not
up.
good, but you know.
So and then take a look at the picture.
You said you had one, not two.
There's one for each of these games.
Uh,
You know when you play bubble hockey and it's a generic red versus blue.
Sure.
It's that vibe. Like, it's red versus blue. It looks perfect. Everyone understands the sides, the teams. You have wonderful vintage original six hockey. It's such a good look.
Yep.
It's such a good look.
it is also the only game that had a Canadian team for Winter Classic.
In a Winter Classic?
I
That's true.
think.
No.
No.
I'll let you work on that.
You think about what you've done here.
Not like I made a doc with every Winter Classic in it because we had to go through and
Think
compare
about
things.
what you've done here.
While you work on that, number one. I think our bias is showing here, but talk us through it.
Yeah, for me, wow, that's fraying.
You know a guy who can fix that.
Yeah, this Reebok thing. Okay, so the thought process here is that the NHL hosts an outdoor game in Buffalo.
I think wasn't it just the Chicago and Pittsburgh Chicago, so many of those. Buffalo and Pittsburgh happened to be playing on New Year's Day, and they just like, you know what? Why don't we make it something special?
It's possible. Sabres used to do a promo on New Year's Eve back in the 90s called Tucks and Pucks. That was their thing.
Tucks and pucks.
Yeah. Cool promo, but the way that this game played out, the fact that Buffalo is in the midst of easily their worst looks.
The Slug.
They looked the worst when they were at their best.
They've done that a couple
The
times.
fact that, so in the last game before the lockout, the last home game before the lockout in 2004, they show up on the ice in these jerseys. They're goat heading at that time. Show up on the ice in these jerseys, then we lock out. Forget that ever took place. Several years later, we put it on. We pull it out, and here we have the classic look, one that you described as being one of the best ever, just because.
It is so well balanced. Though I mean I like the blue better because I hate this gold blue gold blue gold blue, but like Buffalo Sabres, it's so well balanced. The Pittsburgh one, I mean that is if you had what is an ice hockey team, it would look like that. It's even Penguins. Like how much more stereotypical can you get?
And you're
and it's a throwback.
You're
They're both.
You're
throwbacks.
dabbling in an era which most people at this time had forgotten about. We
It was
weren't
not talked
throwing
about.
back. Right. So you have this game come together. The shootout was new-ish. We get a shootout. It starts snowing. Everything that the NHL needed to happen for this game happened.
Phil,
you want a real assignment? As you keep looking.
No, I found it. That's how unforgettable forgettable that game was. Montreal and Boston.
Yes, Montreal and Boston. Do you want to use Jersey Cam to show my ticket from that Winter Classic?
Oh God.
Just
Oh,
actually, it's next to the other Winter Classic ticket.
God.
So many moons ago.
Oh, nice.
So I was there. You can that the top left is from the NBC shot. That
then after we went.
Yep. So you can see the yellowing over the years. That like it was an unbelievable environment. I said so many prayers 'cause I didn't want to hear from my Buffalo friends the rest of the trip I was up there because I was spending a couple days.
Fair.
It was a magical experience. Like you could not, for that to be the first Winter Classic. I won't say outdoor game. We all know. And to say like it's a fair if you wrote that in fiction, everyone would be like, oh come on.
And there it was.
But there it was.
These never went to retail either. This was concocted by me. Like this is a replica.
The Reebok from that year. Because Reebok made a number of the throwback jerseys. Anyways.
They did, but you couldn't go to the game like today and buy this jersey.
You couldn't buy any merch there. I wanted to get a pin for my Russian hat that I was wearing because it's cold, and there wasn't. They didn't exist.
Yeah.
Half the things still said there was the Ice Bowl. Like they didn't even settle on the actual.
I'd love to see if that stuff ever hits eBay because that would be a
An
ton
old
of fun
Ice
to
Bowl
actually see.
thing. Yeah. So
There it is.
it was done perfectly the first time. We really don't.
Allow us to show you how this hanger system just will simplify your life. So you
You could
put that in
No,
the...
you
Okay.
it was right before.
Okay.
How are you messing this up? User error.
Stocking stuffers the kids will love it.
So, you okay, Phil? You
Phil's
got
asleep.
things on your mind.
Literally Phil's asleep.
Well, we forgot one.
Ah, yes, actually seeing and how well they play together. It's brilliant.
Love it.
It's brilliant. So, our 3 best matchups. What do you think?
I think
Let us know in the comments.
we talked about that's what I think. We already did this.
Good.
Who are you talking
Is this
to?
Kiss Cut? It is Kiss Cut. Wow.
Was that Phil?
It's been a long day.
He Shrems. I'm John. Phil, take us out.
Thank you. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, ring the bell to get notifications to when we post new videos, and come back for another episode of Ugly Thirds.
Your collar looks like baby puke.
They can't